Here we are in the hospital ER, and Jennifer is presenting with severe wrist pain. She's been seen by the doctor and already had x-rays. The doctor let me know that she does not have a break or a fracture, but a possible sprain. So what we're going to do is put a volar splint on her. There are 3 indications for splinting an extremity. The first of which is a fracture. Splinting a fracture helps keep the bones aligned and start the healing process correctly. Without splinting fractured bones in the correct position, they can heal but might cause further damage and most likely a lot of discomfort. Dislocations are splinted after a reduction procedure and maintain proper alignment of the joints and bones involved. Sprains are splinted to help immobilize the ligaments of the extremity and support the surrounding structures. There are not any absolute contraindications of splinting, but some things to consider are: is there an open wound or a fracture where the bone is protruding from the soft tissue? Or is the patient at risk for compartment syndrome, which is swelling in one or more of the compartments in the extremity? This can lead to neurovascular compromise, which in turn would be very uncomfortable and can cause further damage. One of my duties as an emergency technician is to splint distal extremities. There are many different techniques, but there are a few basic steps we will cover here. To place a volar splint, we will first need to gather all of our supplies. The items we will need are measuring tape, ACE wrap, cast padding, the fiberglass splint, and scissors. The first step in our volar splint is to measure the patient's arm 2 inches from the antecubital space and 1 inch below the proximal phalanges, or fingers, to match up with the palmar crease. We next take that measurement to cut our fiberglass material in the correct length of the arm that we are splinting. This fiberglass splinting material is unique because it has an outer shell of padding to add comfort to the patient. The fiberglass can be very uncomfortable and pokey after it is fully formed and becomes rock hard. Also, once the fiberglass material is cut, it starts the hardening process, which can take between 10 and 20 minutes. One technique to speed up this process is to wet down the fiberglass material, which activates it to become harder faster. You want your splint formed perfectly to the patient's extremity. If it hardens before it is formed, it can be very uncomfortable. Cast padding is placed on the arm to add more comfort. This does not have to be done with this type of splinting material because there is already padding that covers the fiberglass, but I find it more pleasant for the patient. It is important when wrapping the cast padding that you do not have any creases, because once the splint is applied, they can cause discomfort and damage to the soft tissue. The fiberglass splint can now be placed on the posterior part of the arm and wrapped with ACE wrap. Wrapping the ACE wrap should start at the wrist, then move toward the fingers, and end at the proximal part of the arm or close to the antecubital space. Wrapping the ACE wrap before the fiberglass is hard is key here because that makes the splint unique to the patient and is the most comfortable. In conclusion, this is how to apply a volar splint. We hope Jennifer feels better and she'll see her orthopedic surgeon in a few days.